All right, here we go. 1 second.
Are we starting?
We are live.
Oh, we're live. I totally missed my cue. Welcome, everybody. This is the Infernal Brotherhood of the Scruffy Looking Nerf Herders Star Wars Clone Wars review. Today we're going to be discussing Season 1, Episode 3, Shadow of Malevolence.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We got a lot of ship battle.
Yeah.
It's always good.
It was all starfighters. It was just so great. I mean, every once in a while I like to, get on the ground and see some lightsabers flipping back and forth. It is the Clone Wars after all. But to get these episodes of this sort of 3-story arc about this sort of massive star killer, essentially, the Malevolence, it's really, really cool. It is funny because every time anyone in the Empire, or in this particular case, the Separatists, get their hands on a massive vehicle, they just think they're unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
Never do they have any humility about any potential weaknesses or anything.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the Star Wars through line.
But if there would be no Empire if they won anyway. Actually, there probably would. The Separatists would just be taken over by Emperor Palpatine, and then it would have been the new Empire. So
yeah,
the Separatist Empire. I don't know. Anyway, this is the premise of the show is a strike force is being put together in order to destroy the Malevolence and Grievous once and for all by Anakin and his Shadow Squad. I think they're called, right? Is it Shadow Squad?
Yes.
I'm looking. I don't see the things. Okay, we're gonna go with it.
Yeah.
It's a really daring and bold maneuver, and of course, it's Anakin's plan. So, how could it be anything but that? And realistically, this is like the flaw in all of Anakin's thinking: is that he knows what he's capable of. He has trouble not being solipsistic and anticipating what other people are actually capable of.
It's like he's convinced he has battle meditation, but he doesn't have battle meditation.
Like he clearly doesn't have it. I do like that Plo Koon was just like, maybe I'll come tag along just in case. You're probably going to need some help.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. And it's so funny to see somebody like actually cruising around with a hyperspace ring instead of just, popping out of hyperspace and then bolting off the thing.
Yeah. That's like a power move, I feel like, because it's got to add drag or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're also flying through a bunch of, space stingray catfish things. So
ridiculous.
Very confident.
So in order to get ahead of Grievous before he gets to the location, they're actually going to be assaulting a medical frigate in, where is it?
Just outside of Naboo.
The Khalida Nebula.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, hold on a second, because now I'm all messed up. See, here's my frustration of this. That I actually read through everything after having watched the episode, and I'm still sort of stumbling on what the hell the bullet points are for this damn episode. I feel like I should just take notes instead of just sort of guessing all the damn time.
I mean, that's effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just us riffing on a show that we just watched that, came out about 11 years ago.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the next system is the Khalida Sales system, Shoals Medical Station. Mm-hmm. And it's at the nearby nebula is where Anakin is going to take his team through in order to get there before Grievous is, so that he can, of course, assault him and attack him as a surprise. The downside is that, Grievous is being informed by Dooku, who's being informed by Palpatine, who's being informed by the Jedi Council. So there's no possible way for a surprise to actually happen.
No.
So they're anticipating them knocking out as many of the escaping medical frigates as possible before disabling the system and destroying it before dealing with Anakin and his troopers. But getting through that nebula proves to be more of a pain than anyone ever anticipated. They're going to take an old smuggler's route called the Balmora Run, which means they have to fly through a whole bunch of giant Nebrae mantas. These are just monstrous-sized, sort of manta ray looking type creatures that just feed off of space gas. I suppose. I don't know. Maybe if I
I'm
just have a
pretty sure
burrito next
that's
to them, I could feed them for a week, I think.
yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah. Most people get out. Only one guy, Matchstick, got his slight bump on one of his engines, which sort of messed up his stabilization. It sort of calls back later in the episode when he gets his ass taken out because of it. But it's because of the plan, the sort of risky maneuvering that Anakin has set, forward for the Shadow Squadron, that he's starting to realize that there are consequences to his actions. When it's just him and Obi-Wan, they always seem to make it out. The Force helps them along the way. Now that he's in a general situation of commanding others, especially like a small strike team like this, he's got to take a lot more care and consideration into the members of the team rather than just his own maneuverability. And there's a really great callback line later in this episode, where Ahsoka's like, look, you're going to make it, but no one else will, as people are dying off as they're trying to assault this Malevolence starfighter or starship. And so ultimately, when they get out of the nebula, they get into open space and meet the Malevolence in battle. Really, the Malevolence is treating them as sort of secondary. It's not worried. General Grievous is not worried at all about this small team of Y-wing bombers, and seemingly for good cause, because they just are being tore up by the fighter squadron, and the gunners on this starfighter are amazing. Like,
Oh yeah,
the base guns. I don't know what you call them. The cannons.
yeah. We'll just say that.
The pew pews.
Yes, that's a technical term we use.
Yeah, it is. I'm an adult. So the Y-wings are being taken out one by one, and suddenly they realize we have to change tactics. Or not only is the space medical frigate, medical space station, not going to make it out alive, they're not going to make it out alive from this assault. And so they decide, as a secondary sort of off, whim of a decision, to attack the actual ion stabilizers themselves, which should have been like the first target, right?
Yeah, you would kind of imagine that would be their first go-to. Like, oh, hey, those don't really look like they're on there that securely. Let's go blow up the thing that makes us all go dead.
It doesn't make any sense at all. Like, that's what.
Well, and realistically, like, I mean, they're going up against vulture droids. Like, that. Come on, they really aren't that scary.
Well, the problem is they're in a bunch of Y-wings, and those do not have the maneuverability of, like, the Jedi starfighters that Plo Koon is sporting around. So that, I think, was their biggest weakness, is just the sheer maneuverability and of these Y-wings just sucks. And people who have played the X-Wing versus TIE Fighter video games, or the X-Wing video games, know that these are just not the best.
No.
You trade it in for an X-Wing any day if you're going to be dogfighting.
Oh, yeah.
Which then begs the question, why did they just have one fighter escort? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, this is the second part of his plan that's super dumb.
Well, I don't understand why the fuck they take Y-Wings. Like, what kind of elite squad takes Y-Wings? I mean, yeah, you get a heavier payload, but you're going up against a super weapon. A super weapon that's stocked full of vulture droids. Like, you need the maneuverability.
Yeah, this was a bold, flawed decision that I think we're going to see growth out of on the behest of Anakin. And, like, he really just sort of overextended himself, and now you saw that sort of moment of self-examination at the end of the episode, where I think this is like one of those episodes where, like, okay, well, we're going to have to see growth in this character as these seasons go on, and this was a very good setup for future growth for him. So I like that. Yeah. Other than that, they win the day.
Of course.
As the episode is ending, we're seeing Obi-Wan Kenobi come in with 3 of his Star Destroyers and just an all-out assault on the Malevolence. And that's sort of the end of the episode, right? I mean,
Yeah, no,
we know that this is a 2 part of a 3-part series, so it's coming back next episode. But that's kind of where we're leaving it for this one. So I don't know.
Yeah.
What were your favorite parts about this?
I just really enjoyed the bulk of the episode. Like anytime you're in a ship, it's just fun, and especially going through the nebula.
Yeah.
Like I'm a sucker for bright colors and shit. Like I'm still a child, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I love the nebula because it. You know, he said, this is old school flying. We have to feel our way through this. I loved that because it does. When you think of Star Wars, you're like, oh, well, they have all the sensors and all the data coming in from their droids. You're pretty much, like undestroyable. I couldn't think of the word of indestructible for some reason. You're pretty much indestructible unless it's a dogfight or a capital-sized ship. Yeah. And so there's no real threats. And so how do you create an environmental threat? Well, you strip away all their sensor equipment by flying through a nebula. And this is something we see in every single cartoon series and multiple times throughout the films and everything. This is just like the go-to. Hey, if we need to make an environmental danger, let's put them next to a nebula, and have them go through and meet giant space creatures. Because
I mean, you can't go wrong with giant space creatures.
Yeah. Okay. So, sort of the best parts of this, I think, again, I agree. The nebula, number one, I love watching the dog fighting and the space battles. I think that's just brilliant. And anytime you get those sort of insurmountable odds moments where you think you have everything under control, you slowly see your control deteriorate, and then it's just like, well, who's going to get there first to see who wins? Like, are they going to fire off the ion cannon, or are they going to end up destroying it first? And I love that tension, because outside of that, there's no real worry. You know the good guys are going to win. We've seen the movies,
of course.
So
yeah.
So I always thought that was great. Anyway, what are you looking for into the on the next episode?
Just seeing how it all ends, because I honestly don't even really remember much of this story arc. I mean, admittedly, it's been a very long time since I've seen the first season.
I don't remember anything about the next episode. And so this is going to be interesting, I think.
Yeah, like I completely forgot about the whole, them actually boarding the medical station.
Yeah.
So it's
and then like
fun.
This could easily have just ended here. Like somehow Grievous is going to get away, and then they're going to have to chase him down in this wounded starship and then destroy the ship. But like what happens between that is going to be interesting. Yeah. So, oh well. All right. Well, I thought it was a good episode. Thumbs up. I think maybe I liked the previous one better. Yeah, I did, because there was more tension and horror than this one had.
Yeah, this was just straightforward space battle stuff.
Yeah. And it was really focused on the dynamic of Plo Koon, Ahsoka Tano, and Anakin Skywalker, and kind of getting this vibe of a Jedi Knight with a Jedi Master and a Padawan. And I think that's an interesting dynamic. What really bugs me is doggone Ahsoka Tano is like, she's her, but she's like commanding and like talking all the time, and she's like taking charge of the troopers, and I don't like that. She's a Padawan. She needs to leave that to the generals and like know her damn Padawan place.
Well, I mean, she's still technically outranking them, so
yeah,
she's not completely overstepping bounds, just more like stepping on toes.
I just can't handle someone saying R2E in one line.
Oh my god, that drove me insane. I fucking hate that nickname. Like,
and then
her
verbally berating her fucking master on the next. Ugh.
Yeah.
What was the?
I can live without the nicknames.
Yeah. And they just ham fist him in too. Mm-hmm. There's just no natural way of sliding in R2E. Like, all right, I get that you're a fucking kid. You're in a military operation surrounded by military men, and you're in a military vehicle going to face insurmountable odds. You're probably going to die, and you're throwing out cutesy little fucking lines? Like,
and he's already got a fucking nickname. You call him R2 for short.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah. Stupid as so. Grow up already.
God damn it.
And then she'll be awesome. But for now...
Damn it, become Fulcrum.
Yeah, come on already. Speed it up. Hasn't she hit puberty yet? Jeez. It's only episode 3 and we're already dying. I can't take it. Grow up. All right. Well, I guess that's going to do it for this episode then.
Yeah. Nice, short, sweet.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to this episode review of Season 1, Episode 3. And if you have any questions or comments, of course, put them in the video description below, and we will probably not see them and address them. But we will have appreciated that you did it. Of course, you can always like and subscribe to the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel so that we know that there are people who watch.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's always super awesome.
Nice. All right, we do these, at least historically, we've been doing them pretty much every single Monday night. So if you want to tune in live and give us your thoughts live, you can do that as well, or just listen to it after the fact and laugh at our hilarious commentary.
Yeah, but you want to watch live so you can laugh at me missing my cue.
They'll still hear it, I'm sure. All right, everyone, until next week, may the Force be with you.
He is one of a kind.